विकसित भारत का विकसित वायर।
आपका और हमारा बहुत ही लंबा और करीबी रिश्ता है। हम उस चटकारे में हैं जो आप अपने दोस्तों के साथ लेते हैं, उस दराज में है जिसमें छिपा है माँ के राजमा चावल का राज, उन सांसों में है जो आपके पलों को महकाते हैं। तो अगली बार आपको कोई चीज पसंद आ जाए तो उसे पलट के देखिएगा, जरूर हमारा नाम दिख जाएगा।
ऑप्शन ट्रेडिंग की सोच रहा हूँ।
सोचना भी मत, बड़ा पैसा चाहिए, बेचनी पड़ेगी कार, बिक जाएगा घर बार। डर गया, पर ऐसा कुछ होता नहीं।
शेयर इंडिया के साथ इजीली गवर्नमेंट सिक्योरिटीज, इक्विटीज और म्यूचुअल फंड्स के पोर्टफोलियो को प्लेज कर सकते हैं और इस मार्जिन मनी से बेफिक्र ट्रेड कर सकते हैं। शेयर इंडिया, डाउनलोड द ऐप नाउ।
Investments in securities markets are subject to market risks. Read all related documents carefully before investing.
26 years of CNBC-TV18.
Welcome back. 4 minutes to go for the pre-open session and about 20 minutes to go for the market open. Sudarshan Sukhani is with us and so is Mitesh Thakkar. Gentlemen, good morning. Special day, 26 years at CNBC TV18, and thank you both for being part of the journey every single day in the morning. It's such an incredible feeling to talk to you on a day like today. Well, let's just look at what happened on Friday, both of you. Sudarshan, you go first. I mean, decent bounce, maybe a little bit of help from the Reserve Bank. 20-day kind of held on and protected once again. Where does it leave us now, Sudarshan? And are there trades to be taken?
Yeah, good morning. Well, we had a minor correction, and then as you said, the Reserve Bank helped, and maybe the correction was over in any case. We wouldn't know that ever. But the point is that we are back in a trading range. Inside this trading range, we need to be buyers on small dips with a very tight stop at 26,050 in anticipation that this range will break out, maybe. But we still have to be on the long side of the market.
Mitesh, what's your sense on the index, first of all?
Yeah. Morning, Prashant. So I have maintained that Nifty will be between 26,300 and 26,850 broadly, and I think that stance is still continuing. I think this consolidation will help the Nifty eventually to break on the upside, but for the time, I think the signals are not there. So we must assume that the range will be in force.
What about stocks, Mitesh?
Good morning, Nima. I have a mix of buy and sell calls. On the buying side is Scient. I think after 2-3 days of rally, it gave a pullback on Friday, so it gives you a better entry point. Keep a stop at 1151. Look for targets of 1200. Indus Tower is a buy with a stop at 409 for targets of 430. And on the selling side is ONGC with a stop at 246.5. Look for targets of 230. And Gas Authority, if it breaks 169, short with a stop of 172.25 for targets of 162.
Sudarshan, what about you?
Well, it's almost similar. Indus Towers is also a buy for me with a stop under 410. Another Indus Bank, which comes as a buy after a long time with a stop under 855. PI Industries is a buy with a stop under 33.30. And Oberoi Realty, which is again coming in my list, is a buying opportunity with a stop under 16.25. It's an all-buy list.
All right. Thank you very much both for joining us, and come back to you a little later. Appreciate it. We take a break. We are back, and we're going to be talking about, of course, the pre-open session, which should be with us shortly in about 2 minutes' time. And joining us will be some of the big and influential voices who've been part of the 26-year journey. On your screen, Nilesh Shah, Ramesh Damani, Madhu Khela, Manish Chokani, Sameer Arora, Ashish Chauhan, and many more. So we'll, of course, have a special bell-ringing ceremony coming up as well.
"26 years of CNBC TV18.
Co-powered by SBI. Best है सबको पता है. And Century Ply Club Prime. रहो बेफिकर.
We have carefully reviewed your performance and promoting you to branch manager.
Sir, Hello, Motilal Oswal.
When life goes to the next level, download Rise by Motilal Oswal. Investments and securities market are subject to market risks. Read all the related documents carefully before investing.
Exquisite comfort. Bespoke hospitality. Culinary excellence. Big words, huh? Trust me. The experience here is far bigger. That's Air India now.
25 लाख का हॉस्पिटल बिल है। इतने पैसे कहाँ से आएंगे?
पैसों की चिंता आप मत कीजिए पापा।
मैम, सर का हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस क्लेम अप्रूव हो गया है।
आप?
पॉलिसी बाजार।
पॉलिसी बाजार पर 0 GST के साथ अब 1 करोड़ का हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस सिर्फ 550 रुपए महीने से शुरू।
कौन है जो जोड़े देश को? विकसित भारत का विकसित भारत।
Real power doesn't shout. It empowers. It leads by example. It walks the talk. And let actions speak the truth. Real power shines through you.
This is Network 18, and you're watching CNBC TV18.
Co-presented by Bank of Maharashtra, Ek Parivar, Ek Bank. Co-powered by National Stock Exchange, Soch Kar, Samajh Kar, Invest Kar. And Century Ply Club Prime, Raho Befikar.
"26 years of CNBC TV18.
Welcome back. Just counting down to the pre-open. You should keep your eye on Interglobe Aviation. That in pre-open is down close to about 10% For starters, because of the flight cancellation, Q3, which is typically a seasonally strong quarter, is unlikely to see that earnings pick up. So that's reason number one. And two, on account of these new, the new rules for pilots, etc., the company perhaps will have to take on more pilots, which also adds to the cost structure. And Interglobe Aviation slammed down 10% lower in pre-opening. Investec has a sell rating, and they've put a target price of 4,040 on that, about a good 20% lower than the current market price. But other than that, it looks like a flattish start. A lot of single stock action should be on your radar. Biocon, positive news flow where the company is looking to make Biocon Biologics a wholly owned subsidiary in a deal valued at $5.5 billion. The only question is, while it's a long-term positive, in the near term, there is going to be some dilution as the company raises money via a QIP to fund the acquisition. Matrimony. I think news was just out that the company on the 15th of December is looking at a buyback, and pre-open, it's looking like a big mover. And Fino Payments is the other one we will be tracking today because the company has got the license for a small finance.
All right, Rima, thanks for that sneak peek into all the top stocks we should be looking at. But Sudarshan wakes up early, goes through a lot of brokerage notes, but he joins in to just give us an insight into a few of them. Sud, please take over.
So first one is Kotak Institutional Equities has initiated coverage on Tata Capital, and it has an ad call, and target here is 360 per share. It's a third largest NBFC company with a loan book of almost 2.44 lakh crore as of Q2 of FY26. It has a well-diversified portfolio with a major focus on the retail, which forms almost 61% of the total loan book. It expects ROE to expand to 15.7% by FY28 from a low base of 12.5% that company reported in FY25. Next one is Max Healthcare. Goldman Sachs has initiated coverage with a buy call, and target here is 1,325. It expects 23% top line growth and 24% EBITDA CAGR over FY25-28, and it believes believes that company has highest potential to expand capacity amongst all the peers. Next one, GS on Krishna Medical, that is basically known as KIMS. It has initiated coverage with a buy call and target here is 900. It expects company to deliver industry-leading top-line growth of 30% CAGR over FY 25-28, and it believes that company is well-positioned to achieve top quartile return metrics with ROE of as high as 25% going forward.
Okay, all right. Thanks a lot for that, sir. I think we have Hormuz as well that's joining in to run us through some of those shareholder lock-ins that actually open up. Lenskart, Pine Labs, Grow, Urban Company, that comes to an end. Hormuz, tell us, which are these companies that we should be keeping on our radar?
Morning, Nigel. Most of those much talked about IPOs, right, from last month, they should be on your radar this week because their lock-ins come to an end. We'll start off with the ones that end today. First up being Lenskart and Pine Labs. So for Pine Labs, of course, we have close to around 19.8 million shares freeing up today, 2% outstanding, value of close to 500 crore rupees. Then the stock is around about 15% higher from its IPO price. That lock-in ends today. For Lenskart, it's again 2% equity, but around 40.7 million shares that will be freeing up for trade today. 1700 crore rupees is the value here. The stock has remained above its IPO price despite a lot of chatter with regards to its valuations. Now, when you go on further, Grow as well, that lock-in there ends on Wednesday. The value of those shares is well over 2200 crore rupees, almost 150 million shares or 2% outstanding frees up for trade here. And the stock, despite having this recent correction, is up around 50% from its IPO price. And Pine Labs, again, there are two instances when the lock-in ends. Again, on Thursday, actually on Friday, where around 39.7 million shares will free up for trade, 3% outstanding. The value here is close to 1,000 crore rupees this time around. So keep an eye out on Pine Labs today as well as on Friday. And on next Monday, we'll have Urban Company, where the 3-month lock-in comes to an end, where close to around 41.5 million shares, 3% outstanding. The value of those shares is well over 500 crore rupees. So that will free up for trade next Monday. But the bigger talking point, of course, is that the way the shares moved, particularly Urban Company and Grow, those shares are now significantly off those post-listing highs. Grow is down around 23% from those levels. And Urban Company, which made a post-listing high of well over 200 rupees, is now down almost 40% from those levels.
Thank you very much for that. I'll also watch for PVR Inox because of this mega deal which took place where Netflix is buying Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
Now, within this deal, Netflix will be acquiring Warner Brothers Studios. So basically, they will now control the Hollywood content. And historically, Netflix has deprioritized theatrical first releases and they prefer to release it on streaming. So if that plays out, then the big global Hollywood blockbusters which come to the theaters first, especially for PVR Inox, could be impacted, which is why even the Multiplex Association of India has raised some concerns about this mega deal, which is worth more than about $80 billion. But it's also an action-packed week. The big one, of course, is the Fed decision. On Friday, we also have the India November CPI inflation print. That will come out on 12th of December. And if you remember, October was that record low of 0.25%. So we'll watch what the November inflation number throws out. And then, the US trade delegation led by Switzer will be in New Delhi for the 3-day meet. So let's see whether we get anything on that trade deal and if they can iron out some differences. So that's going to be the big one. And of course, IPO action, as Hormuz pointed out, lock-ins end, but many new IPOs open today. So that's going to be on my watch list for the entire week.
Okay, all right. So that's all the cues that we have. Mitesh is waiting by to give us his 9-10 call. Mitesh?
I'll go with the buy on sign with the target of around 1200.
Got it. So Darshan, what about you?
Indus Towers, buy Indus Towers with a stop under 410.
Indus Towers. For Indus Towers, of course, the big trigger will be when we get the AGR relief package from the Supreme Court, because that will be positive for Vodafone Idea, and that indirectly will be positive for Indus Towers. So that will be the big trigger, to watch for when we get details of a relief package.
I think if we still have Mitesh with us, Mitesh, I wanted to ask you your view on Reliance Industries, because that big boy has been holding one end up. It's at a 52-week high. It's been looking quite good. Actually, as CNBC-TV18 celebrates 26 years of leadership, Prashant is in conversation with all the biggest and the most influential voices. Prashant, take over.
Well, thanks very much, Nigel and Reema, to you. And it's not just me. There's Nimesh with me. There's Mangalam, who you'll be able to see. And, of course, we are joined and really flanked by some of the best voices, biggest voices.
And the biggest supporters.
And the biggest supporters, absolutely. And, you know, these are people we go to. I mean, you come to us and we go to them to get the view, both market and corporate as well. So really a star-studded lineup. And they've made it Monday early morning to our studio. So it's
only for us.
Really wonderful to have all of you here. Mr. Ramesh, thanks very much. Madhubhai, great to have you. Ashish Bhai has got a function a little later, but he's made it with us. Thank you. Really appreciate it. Nilesh Bhai, thank you very much. Navneet, appreciate it. Mr. Chatwal, thank you very much for joining us. Mr. Damani, it's always a pleasure to have you.
I'm told Mr. Chatwal has created a discount code on CNBC-TV18's 26th birthday. It's IHCL26. Type in that and you'll get a 26% off on whatever booking you're making on the Taj.
I think it's a brilliant idea. Let's just go with it.
Let's just go with it.
But not implemented yet?
He just got the idea
right away,
now.
right after this.
I hope it's not plus 26. As long as minus 26, you're okay.
No.
Market men prefer plus.
We are large-hearted.
Thank you, sir.
You know, I'll go to Ashish Bhai first. I mean, Ashish Bhai, you are the platform on which everything happens. I was putting out data earlier. 26 years, if you look at the market capitalization, 99 and where we are now, 100x is the growth which has happened. And, you know, you were right there at the beginning, if I may say so. Your reflections of what we've seen over the last 20 years.
India has changed. Mumbai has changed. And I recall your office just behind the TV tower at Worli. And you are closer to that now. But basically from there, I think I was probably there in the first debate itself on derivatives.
Right.
And so the only guy who is constant in NSE is me, although in between I also changed. So a lot of things. But markets have given almost 13.5% CAGR. The market cap has gone up 17.5% CAGR, which means more companies have come. In a way, India is becoming more financialized. More assets are getting listed on every count, right? So,
you know, I was just looking at data in '99. The largest, and many of you would recall, the biggest large cap was HUL with a market cap of 50,000 crores. Wow. The biggest small cap, by current definitions, was a company called Foseco India with a market cap of 150 crores. I mean, just unbelievable growth we've seen, right? I mean, this is the average. The largest large cap, the largest small cap, the largest mid cap. I mean...
the market cap of one company is bigger than the total market cap of 1999.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, absolutely. 5 lakh crore was the total market cap, and you got...
2-3 lakh.
And Nifty, Nifty was around 1,500, 1,480 or something, if I recall correctly.
Yeah.
And today it's 26,000. Of course, you have to take into account the dividends, but it has been a phenomenal run.
I think one place in India has changed. It is only capital markets, I would say.
Yeah.
You know, by leaps and bounds, whatever number you look at it, number of demat account from 2.5 million to 22.5 million, market cap 130x, the size of the companies, retail investor participation, SIP inflows. It looks absolutely unbelievable, like a story, picture perfect. For capital market.
The money, I mean, you know, we kind of quib and complain about near-term performance and how it's been a tough year. Maybe it's been a tough year, but sometimes when you reflect back over 26 years and the compounding we've seen, I mean, it just tells you to essentially the advantage of staying in the game, right? I mean, being there.
You're right, Prashant. I mean, when I joined, the index was not even 1,000, 1,500, as Ashishji said. It was actually the Sensex was 800 at that point. Yeah. Today we had 80,000. We had 100x move right in the Sensex. And it's hard to believe today, but when Infosys went public in '93, the market cap was, I think, 40 crores. Yeah. 40 crores. You couldn't buy a flattened Bombay for 4 crores. And yet you had Infosys market cap 40 crores. Extraordinary journey. But let me just put in perspective for you your journey at CNBC-TV18, which we're also proud to be a part of. You know, Helen Keller, the famous woman, once said that a well-educated mind will always have more questions than answers. And for 25, 26 years, CNBC has been providing the answers to the questions that the public has posed. Yep. So congratulations and a happy anniversary to all of you.
Thank you very much. Really well put.
On this occasion, we have another question as well, and we'll probably go to Nileshji on that one. You know, last 26 years, the numbers have been phenomenal. For someone entering right now, do the next 26 years look better than the last 26?
Undoubtedly, yes. But in real return, not in nominal returns. If you are expecting 100x in next 26 years, it may not happen because our inflation is down from double digit to mid-single digit, low single digit.
You know, guys, we're being told that 20 seconds to go. तो आप mic मंगलम ले लेगा. आप गॉम उठा लीजिए नीलेश भाई. I mean, I think ये ऊपर, यहाँ पे ऊपर. आशीष भाई. So I think we're going to ring the bell in. By the way, this is only 17 bells to go for the end of the year. That's the other thing. I think. And
both closing and opening.
4, 3, 2, 1.
There we go. Please. Madhu, please. Ramesh, please. Ramesh.
Give it a go, give it a go, give it a go.
No, I think...
many congratulations.
Navneet, I mean, just your reflections in terms of
It's been
what
a
you've seen.
phenomenal journey. As I said, that the largest market cap company today is bigger than the entire market of India.
Yeah.
And our mutual fund industry was less than 1 lakh crore, which is 80 lakh crore today.
Yeah.
And I must say, SDFC Flexi Cap Fund NAV was 20 rupees, which is 2,000. I have to say, past performance is no guarantee of future performance. Mutual funds are subject to market risk, always offer document carefully. No, but the point is, I think it's a phenomenal journey as an economy, and you have played a very big role in shaping policy, in corporate governance, and overall economic transformation of the country. So many congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Let's dive in some strategic thoughts as well. Over the last 26 years, the hospitality industry has seen a big shift, the way people have begun to consume, experience, etc. And similarly, media has also faced that shift. So if there was one thing that you would like to suggest to us over the next 26 years that would be more consumer-friendly, better, relevant, and what changes we should do, what would you say?
You know, consumer-friendly, all service businesses have to be, and they have to keep reimagining themselves. So it's very difficult to say what you do in 2 years, what you do in 5 or 10 or 15. It will keep coming. But definitely where India stands today, where India's GDP stands today, where the capital markets stand today, hospitality, travel, tourism, aviation is bound to flourish. And if we get some kind of change in the mindset and the positioning of the sector, it can grow immensely the soft power of the brand India. I think that's the one major difference versus past. It's not only about consumption. If you want to establish brand India, one of the ways to do it is hospitality and tourism.
Right. And I think Mr. Chatwal has reimagined the Taj brand, right? I mean, absolutely over the last a few years coming through. Mr. Ramesh is, of course, with us as well. And, you lead a company and, of course, you're part of an industry which has really been, like IT services, Pharma has been really the flag bearer. I mean, there's a soft power, there's export power as well. And I think Pharma has played such a big role. And you've been with us over these last 20 plus years. Just your reflection, Mr. Ramesh.
Yeah, so congratulations in the first instance about your 26th year. Very well done. You've been synonymous with corporate reporting for quite some time now. Speaking about the healthcare industry, pharmaceuticals in general, not for nothing is India regarded as the pharmaceuticals capital of the world. So essentially 40% of volumes in America comes from India. So clearly we have come a long way over the last 20 years, so to speak. And India is also transitioning into more specialty. We've been good at generics for ages now. But if you look at, in fact, some of the firms today, we are looking at pretty, a lot of specialty products. So we had the in-licensing, out-licensing from Glenmark. A lot of other companies also are in the same track that way. Sun Pharmaceuticals has established a name for specialty and so on. Lupin is also going that pathway. So clearly, there's a lot to look forward to. And in terms of healthcare, there's a lot of potential in India, given the fact that there's still huge underpenetration. And clearly, from my perspective and from the pharmaceutical industry perspective, many more miles to cover before we reach any levels of satisfaction, so to speak.
Yes, it's ambitious, absolutely.
Madhubhai, you had an experience of creating 100x in your Reliance mutual fund. Your journey and just to reflect on what you look forward to in the next 25 years.
As I said, it's nothing short of phenomenal, picture perfect, very, very satisfied that we are born at the right time and right place. And it's been phenomenal,
What's been your key learning? I mean, in one or two learnings?
Key learning is just stay. I think believe in India and stay invested, Because over the years, so many things have changed, so many ups and downs we have seen. And people who have stayed. I would just like to maybe put things in perspective. It's not 100x, but it's 130x now from 99 to 2026. So someone who just stayed invested is the one who has laughed all the way to the banks. I must say again, congratulations to you guys. I think CNBC has played a very, very vital role in the way capital markets in India have shaped. You've got the best voices. I think and a commentary which is completely unbiased, and yet I must say all you guys individually remain so humble. So congratulations to all of you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I was thinking of what everyone was doing when they were 26. I realized that when I was 26, just below 26, I joined CNBC-TV18 and CNBC turned 26. Mr. Damani obviously was a student, if I remember, in the US around that age.
When I was 26, yeah, probably.
Yeah. So the one thing that has stood out for you is the mastering of multiple cycles. You mastered the IT cycle, thereafter the other cycles that came in, as recent as the PSU cycle as well. So, the next 26 years, what's the cycle that you're betting on as of now?
As my wife tells me, Kismat Balwan to Gada Pelwan. So I don't want to take too much credit for mastering the cycles, Mangalam. But having said that, I agree with the consensus in the room that the next 10, 20 years are going to be even better for India than the last 10, 20 have been. And remember, we've gone from 800 to 80,000 on the index. So it's a very tall claim to make. But it just seems we're in the right place at the right time. And I'd just like to add that my generation, Navneet, me, all of you my age, we're part of the blessed generation of India. I mean, we came to markets in the 80s. What happened? The Berlin Wall fell. What happened in 92? Economic liberalization started. What happened in 96? The TMT boom started. So we've been beneficiaries of a huge tailwind that has carried us so far to 80,000. But I think this tailwind of India, the demographics, the digitization, the democracy, will ensure that we go much higher. And I'm going to make a bold prediction because it's your birthday today, that someone asked me yesterday, where is India going to be in 2047, 100 years after independence? I think get ready for us. Index in the 7 figures.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow. Index in 7.
That's about 12% compounded, so not that great as it sounds, but we'll get there, I think. Not 6 figures, 7 figures.
Wow, 7 figures. What were you doing at 26?
I think all of us were very lucky that in early 90s who came to the financial services and saw the entire journey of India, and I think 99 you happened to be at the right time. In fact, some of the largest companies in the Nifty today, TCS, Maruti, Bajaj Finserv, maybe Coal India, so many of them were not present in the Nifty of 99 when you started. So it shows that in next 26 years, we are going to be many giant companies in India which are like yet to be born.
But which ones would you bet you're on to be the next top market cap companies?
Invest in the fund. No, more serious note. I think the compounding story other than United States, India has shown. We had a great campaign, Incredible India in 90s. The time has come, we start another campaign, Inevitable India.
That is something that will be music to Puneet's ears.
Manit, Mangalam, I was asking that instead of saying what they were doing at 26, let's ask just one round of what they were doing in 99.
Okay, let's do that.
26 years ago. Mr. Ramesh, 1999?
1999, I actually switched to Wazir Sultan Tobacco as CFO there. So that was the change that I was undergoing at that point of time.
Madhubhai?
I was with a broking firm 26 years back.
I was in school.
Birla Mutual Fund. And saw the tech boom of 99 and the bust of 2000. Very interesting days. Yeah.
Lovely. Nilesh bhai?
I was a fixed income fund manager.
Wow.
And as long as I was fixed income fund manager, I outperform all equity fund managers.
I was heading development for Carlson companies that time, today called Radisson Hotels, for Europe, Middle East and Africa, based out of Germany.
Wow. Mr. Damani?
Yeah, well, I was still a broker in the Bombay Stock Exchange watching the rise of tech in India at that time. And I think one of the tributes we should pay in the last 26 years is to the technology boys. I think they've made India what we are. So in the Infosys market of 40 crores in 93, I think what tech has given the pride and the panache to Indian markets, I don't think can be replaced or undercounted.
Okay, quickly, one question to all four the market participants. Madhu, I'll start with you. One stock in the last 26 years that you betted on, and similar thing you can reflect the same in any of the fresh companies or the newer companies. which can become the next big thing? One thing that you can think of and highlight. Maybe everybody can.
So my story is very boring, guys. Still the same Divi's lab. It's the same Divi's lab.
For last 26 and next 26 as well.
So I think, but Nimesh, I would like to make one comment. A lot of people who are watching us, they must be saying that so much has happened.
Yeah.
So what in the next 26 years? Yeah. Now you see what has happened in America in last 5 years in the AI boom. Half the market cap roughly is now contributed or influenced by the market cap, by the AI boom. I would say in the next 25 years, the easy part of India re-rating story and multiple expansion has happened. Now the difficult part starts, wherein you have to now really work hard to make the money. The easy multiplication of money because of re-rating out of India may be behind us. But if you catch the industry right, if you catch the companies right, where earning growth is there, it's still a lot to happen.
That's a job cut out for us. Yes.
Any theme, any idea?
Well, I think one theme that I'll say controversially, I think the American century, as we knew it, is probably going to start declining. I have a strong feeling what Trump is doing is absolutely wrong for what is America, tariffs, there's crony capitalism that America is practicing. For India, of course, I think Mr. Ramesh will be very happy. I think Pharma will do well over the next 5 years, so which is a rare call for me, sir. So I'm
Pharma over the next 5 years.
Anything that stood out for you last 26 years, which can probably reflect again in next 25 years?
So 26 years ago when market used to correct, we used to go to investors, stay invested, be a long-term investor. Now when markets correct, investors come to us, Nilesh bhai darna mat, gore ko khali kar dena. But the real change which has happened is not just the mindset. 26 years ago, our investors were urban India, male, upper middle class, super rich. Today my investors are urban, semi-urban, rural India, male as well as female, and not only the upper middle class and rich, but also the lower middle class. 100 रुपए की SIP करके लोग अपने ख्वाब हमें दे रहे हैं.
I remember last year I complimented Shireen for Young Turks, 25 years before the startup became a buzzword. Startup is the new guitar in colleges today. And we have seen the journey in the last few years. But you look at like 90s, even an SDFC Bank or so many companies is standing here and many other companies, the way they have compounded. I think they were a small startup and today giants from a global standard. I think we are going to see the same in India over the next 25 years. And best way to invest is through our funds.
If you had to ask the corporate leaders here as well, when hospitality boomed, a large part of that was led by luxury. Do you believe the way, fashion has become affordable, the next leg of hospitality also, say, Zudioization of hotels, will that happen as well?
I would not call it Zudio-led growth because we have something nicer. It will be gingerization, of all district capitals of India. And we are just at the beginning. We'll have 250 ginger hotels in operation at the end of next year. So that gives you a perspective of where we started, where we are. And we are very pleased. And with all the good investments you make, with all the good returns you make, we are the happiest because you come and spend in our hotels. And please keep doing so.
All right. And, the Indians were pharma manufacturers of the world up until now. Do you think we'll be the pharma innovators of the world in the next 26 years?
I think the first part would be potentially be search and develop. You might actually see a lot of in-licensing opportunities from other parts of the globe and develop it for India and the like. But clearly we are on this track. And at some point of time, we would certainly be looking at out-licensing a lot of products from India. It's already started. Glenmark has done that. But a lot of other corporates would also do this over the next several years.
So more R&D in terms of Indian pharma as well. We're going to toss it back to the studio. Mr. Ramesh, thank you very much. Madhu bhai, appreciate you coming in. Navneet, appreciate you coming here. Nilesh bhai, always. Mr. Chatwal, Mr. Damani, thank you very much.
Happy birthday again.
Happy birthday, yes. Happy birthday.
To all of you and all the best. And I'm sure to create more investors, more wealth, and help India grow. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We're going to toss it back to Nigel and Rima in the studios, and programming continues. Thanks very much.
Well, it's a quietish start right now for the Indian markets this Monday morning. The Nifty is hovering around 26,150. It's a mildly lower start of about 0.1-0.2%. Mid-cap index is swinging between the red and the green line. The big drag today is Interglobe Aviation. So the downtick on Interglobe Aviation continues, still in the eye of the storm with the flight cancellations. So Interglobe Aviation straight away 3.5% lower. You've got a few pharma names, softish in trade, Sun Pharma, Cipla. Bajaj Finance is weak. Nestle India has corrected about 0.75 percentage point. BEL is under pressure. Asian Paints has started off trade on a downbeat note. On the way up, sectorally strength is seen in some of these tech names. So Tech Mahindra, Wipro, Infosys, TCS. If you pull up the tech index, maybe that will give you an indication that sectorally the IT index is still resilient, a gain of about 0.5%. At least the rupee has stopped depreciating. I think that early rate will once again come up. After the dramatic fall that we had last week, the depreciation seems to have stopped on the rupee. HDFC Life is your top gainer, and Eternal, where there was a block deal in the morning, I think at least as of now, it's up in the green, so it's recovered after that block.
Yeah, that large trade is out of the way. The street was sniffing it, and that's got cleared out of the way. And remember, the stock was a 360 rupee stock on the day it came out with its set of numbers. So that's corrected a good 20% from the top. A few stocks in the broader markets that deserve special mention. SPML, Infra, that stock is up 8.5%. So big move is what we're seeing out there. Ashoka, Biocon as well. There was some positive news flow on that one. That stock as well has perked up a little bit. So good move on that name. You have Suzlon, actually, that's moved up. Remember, the stock has corrected from 90 rupees to around this 50 rupee odd mark. But that stock has shown some kind of green out there. And Fino Payments Bank, surprise, surprise, that's one of the top losers. Massive profit taking is what you're seeing on that one. Volumes are very, very high. The stock is down close to around 5%. And just a word on Interglobe Aviation, though the stock is down 3.5%, at the start of trade, in fact, it was down more than 6%. So that's seeing some kind of bottom fishing as well in today's trading session. Net, breadth of the market is negative. The Nifty is down a little bit, but you'll have to say we're still in a bit of a range out there on the Nifty. Until the 20 DMA, both on the Nifty and the Nifty Bank is protected, the bulls will fancy their chances to end the year on a high. The breadth of the market, though, Rima, that's concerning. Even in Friday's trading session, everyone was talking about the big move that we saw on the Nifty Bank. The small cap index was down 0.4%. So portfolios are not feeling good as of now. Hopefully that catch-up does take place, because otherwise it's not feeling like fresh all-time highs.
Indeed, I was seeing some analysis over the weekend that over half of the NSE 500 stocks are still trading 30% below their peak levels, which is why portfolios are not feeling very good. But Fino Payments Bank is actually the surprise stock, 5.5% lower on Fino Payments Bank. Remember, the news here is that this is a payments company which has now got the RBI approval to convert itself into a small finance bank. So as a payments company, it couldn't lend money. It could only accept deposits up to 2 lakh rupees. But now once it converts into a small finance bank, it can lend freely. It'll decide whether it's retail, MSMEs, but it can lend freely. There is no cap on deposits. Though on the flip side, they have to maintain some regulatory requirements. So one would have thought the news would have been positive, but that stock is reeling under pressure. Biocon too, the news is positive, the long-term promise, but maybe in the near term, the dilution is weighing on the stock, and Biocon has opened up with a cut of about 0.75 percentage point. Niva Bupa, that's a stock because I think the November numbers are actually looking good. The November premium went up 47%, with the April-November market share rising by 18 basis points on a year-on-year basis. We will get into a short break with the news. The openings in flat. The Nifty is trading just shy of the 26,150 mark, mile down tick. On the other side, we'll continue our conversation with Indian Hotels' Puneet Chatwal. Stay tuned.
My heartiest congratulations to CNBC-TV18 for completing 26 years, and to you, Shireen Ban, for your 25th year completion. What an incredible journey that you all have had. This journey has resulted in you establishing yourself as the most credible channel for business news in the country.
26 years of CNBC-TV18.
Co-presented by Bank of Maharashtra, Ek Parivar, Ek Bank. Co-powered by National Stock Exchange, Sochkar, Samajhkar, Invest Kar. And Century Ply Club Prime, Raho Befikar.
आराम से सामान देना भैया।
अब आगे क्या करना है? वो पिट्टू की पर्ची में देखो ना, कहाँ गई पर्ची?
नमस्ते
जी।
मुझे पता है वो पर्ची में क्या लिखा होता है। आप चलिए मेरे साथ। व्हील चेयर, ये आपका और ये आपका। पर्ची में शॉपिंग की बात तो जरूर लिखी होती है। थोड़ी पेट पूजा की बात कोई पर्ची में ना लिखे, ऐसा हो सकता है? टिफिन
थैंक यू।
अरे पर्ची मिल गई।
पर्ची में तो ये सब लिखा ही नहीं था।
हम है ना आपकी पर्ची।
सिर्फ वर्ल्ड क्लास एयरपोर्ट्स नहीं चलाते हैं, आपके सफर में हम सफर बन जाते हैं। अदानी, हम करके दिखाते हैं।
We have carefully reviewed your performance and promoting you to branch manager.
Sir. Hello, Motilal Oswal.
When life goes to the next level, download Rise by Motilal Oswal. Investments and securities market are subject to market risks. Read all the related documents carefully before investing.
आपके कलीग्स भी आपका परिवार है। इनकी सेफ्टी से समझौता? नो चांस। इसीलिए पॉलीकैब ग्रीन वायर्स। इनके सुपीरियर इंसुलेशन इमरजेंसी में दे कम धुआं। पॉलीकैब ग्रीन वायर्स, इंडिया सेफ हैप्पी कनेक्शन।
Hey, careful, huh? My daddy got it from abroad. Hey, disaster! How will you pay for the loss now?
In stock market, you should take risk as per your capacity and knowledge. Trade in options very carefully.
Wow, Dikra! Absolutely perfect. Take risk with full understanding.
समझकर invest कर।
This is Network 18, and you're watching CNBC-TV18.
Presented by Punjab National Bank, the name you can bank upon. Co-powered by SBI, best है सबको पता है. In association with Servo Hypersport F5, when speed is your default.
26 years of CNBC-TV18.
Well, as CNBC TV18 celebrates 26 years of leadership, we're now joined by Puneet Chhatwal, the MD and CEO of Indian Hotels, who's made his way up from one studio to the other. Thanks, Puneet, for joining in. But, before we get to that discussion, I'm just going to point out the three focal points that we're looking at. The growth roadmap of the next 2 decades, the holiday season performance, what's the outlook on that front, and the macro trends in the hospitality business. Well, Puneet, we're going to touch upon all these three. But first up, what about the recent fiasco with regard to flights not taking off? Indigo or Interglobe Aviation, which is the listed name, they have been facing some headwinds. What has been the impact on your business? Because a lot of people could not get to their desired destinations. Has it impacted business in any way? Have there been cancellations, any kind of revenue loss?
See, firstly, good morning.
Morning.
Thank you for having me on 2 studios today. There is an impact. It's very small, so the reverse also works. You get cancellations because people could not fly in, but you also get extensions and rebookings because people cannot fly out. So I think in the end, it averages out quite well. The major markets that are important for hospitality sector in India, that's the top 10, I would say, the impact has been negligible.
Okay.
And as we have seen during COVID, this sector is so resilient, it bounces back. And actually just 3, 4, 5 days creates a pent-up demand, and what did not happen in those 4, 5 days happens a week later.
But is it possible to quantify the impact?
It's so negligible. It's less than like 0.1% of our total revenue.
So you maintain that Q3, I mean, in the past you've said Q3 PAT is typically higher than the first half. That stays?
It's significantly higher. Okay. So the Q3 PAT is higher
Significantly higher
significantly higher than the Q1 plus Q2 put together.
Got it.
And that is a trend we have seen in the last, 14 quarters.
Is it better this year?
Of course, it will be better. We still have some time to go, but the trends, the business on the books, all points in the right direction.
And the 12 to 15% top line guidance, do you do better?
I never said 12 to 15.
Okay,
I said a double-digit growth.
Okay.
Anything between 10, 12 and higher is most welcome. But our base is so high, it's very, very high. So it's not just the percentage. We have to look at the absolute amount.
Well, I'm telling you, the absolute ARRs are moving up. As an interested party, I'm traveling towards the end of the year. Obviously, I couldn't get to your property because the ARRs have moved up so much. but you tell us.
We have just agreed with Mangalam to do a special promotion, IHCL at CNBC-26, so to get 26% off. So he's made that suggestion. We'll work on it. Let's see if we are able to advertise it. Mangalam,
Rima, you continue with the interview. I'll just book my ticket. No. Give us a few details then in terms of occupancy, in terms of ARR as well. How do you see the trend shape up, for the second half of the year? And Q3 has been as good as what you estimated?
So far, it has been as good as estimated. October had both Diwali and Dussehra. So that was less buoyant, but because of that, November was very, very strong. So you have to look October and November together as far as India is concerned. And in December, the first 15 days are really very, very strong. You have also the wedding dates, the auspicious ones, and we also have, state visits. A visit of the president of Russia does make a big impact on business in Delhi.
I want to pick on the point that you spoke about gingerization of hotels, right? Not Zudios, okay, whatever. It's a tough one to say, but gingerization of hotels. So today, Taj, as a brand, contributes about 75% plus to your overall revenues.
Correct.
Now, considering how fast Ginger is growing, or even the improvement that we're seeing in Amma stays, etc., say by 2030, how much do you think the contribution of these newer verticals will be versus what it is today?
So, gingerization of the business would be reflective of the new India and where India is marching ahead in terms of its middle class, low middle class, high middle class, etc. The opportunity is very big, but the revenues in ginger, you need, like almost 50 gingers to come to the same level of revenue as Taj Mahal Palace in Colaba. So the revenue will keep coming and the profitability to a big extent, which could be 60% from the Taj brand itself and 40% over the other brands by 2030. It could look very different by 2047 when India is at 100, where Taj may come to 50% of the total because other brands would have scaled up. But Taj will always occupy the larger share of the pie by virtue of having presence, let's say, in London. One hotel in London or one in New York contributes, it's a very big amount of revenue.
So the numbers you shared, 60% of by 2030 and by 2047, it will be 50%. That's in total number of hotels, not in terms of revenues.
No, in terms of revenue.
In terms of revenues.
In number of hotels, Ginger will grow much faster. Actually, by the next 6 months, in number of hotels, Ginger would have overtaken Taj. Today, Taj is higher, but in the next 6 months, Ginger would have exceeded that number.
Let's come back to the Taj brand then. And there's a property that we have been speaking about over the last few years, which is Sea Rock. I think I'm getting there. Bandra property, erstwhile Lobby Bar used to be there. All my first dates were there. Beautiful place. But now Taj Bandstand is something that you're looking at. What is the capex you're looking at? And by when do we see completion? Because that's a very, very good location.
Yeah. So I think that construction site is already become busy. We are doing the excavation works. I kind of think, based on my conversations with the teams, anything between 4 to 5 years is realistic because it's 164-meter tall building and we have to also dig deep into the basement, and that's a lot in water. That's why it was called the Sea Rock. So it's not the easiest of the constructions. Having said that, this would be the next iconic asset for India. So like you look at Singapore and you have a Marina Bay Sands, you look at Dubai and you had the Burj Al Arab, I think this will be the iconic statement made by the city of Mumbai, made by the House of Tata, and made by India to the world. And we are very, very excited about it. We will not, kind of become frugal in the wrong places. So whether it's your lobby bar on the floor or on the ground floor, or it's the topmost floor of the building, it will be just best in class. That's the whole vision, and the capex would be big. It's already in our books with 1,500 crores, the cost of the land, and a number higher than that would be the final construction and design expense. So because of the land being very expensive in Mumbai, it will be 40-45% of the total capex, and so that gives you an idea. Anything between 1,800 to 2,000 crores is realistic.
So 2030, Rima, Puneet and Nigel will have a coffee with it.
And at that time, we'll probably be at 30% discount. CNBC will be celebrating 30 years. So maybe
we are very large-hearted. We can host CNBC, but this was at 26 was meant for CNBC viewers.
Oh, not us. Okay. Thank you, Puneet, always for joining in, and look forward to these conversations.
Thank you for having me.
All right, get into a break then. On the other side, the management of Lupin will join in. Stay tuned.
"26 years of CNBC TV18. "26 years of CNBC TV18.
Welcome back. Down about 0.25% now on the Nifty and the Sensex. Mid-cap index down 135 points. The advanced decline ratios turn adverse. One stock in the green for two in the red. But let's welcome now in our studio, as CNBC TV18 celebrates 26 years of leadership, Ramesh Swaminathan, who was there for the ringing of the bell, is now with us in the studio. He's the ED and Global CFO at Lupin. I was listening to what you were saying, right? Like, India is known as sort of the generic capital of the world when it comes to pharmaceuticals. But your vision is that we move towards specialties, like more branded drugs, as we look ahead to the next decade. And that is the potential for us. So for Lupin, how will this this vision of yours change? What is the current contribution of generics? Because you do supply, I think, 40% of the US drugs come from Lupin. How do the numbers change? First, give us a big picture, and then we'll get down to...
I think it's basically a question of evolution. So essentially, we started off with generics, as did a lot of companies from India. Clearly, America was the El Dorado, so a lot of companies flocked to that, for sure. 40% of the volumes of America certainly comes from India. But I would also add that we export to a host of other countries, including Europe, emerging markets, and the like. So clearly, it is the pharmaceutical capital of the world. And as with evolution, a lot of companies would like to transit to more specialty, and that is indeed because we need to grow up. So clearly, IP-driven products would be the way forward. We have also forayed into specialty, if that's what you are.
Yeah, you have, yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
What is the contribution today of specialty, and what would that number look like?
Currently, we have a number of products. So we have products in, but this is across the globe, so to speak. We have products in Canada. We have a couple of products in Europe and the like, and so on. Our total contribution is close to about $80 million, so to speak. But clearly, with this foray into Pharma, into ophthalmology, this is set to go up dramatically. This is doing about $50 million, but over the next several years, it will certainly blossom into a much larger number. And that's the way we see things going forward for us.
All right. Hi, sir. Welcome to the studio. Thanks a lot for joining in. We want to get some clarity as well, because the street has been a buzz with some reports which suggest that you're looking to buy UK's largest nutraceutical company, which is Vita Biotech, I believe. And the valuation could be, 1 billion pounds, I believe. And your talks in with PEs. Clarify on that front. Is there any truth? Are you looking at it, or no truth whatsoever?
Honestly speaking, there are a number of propositions that come our way, and we keep evaluating a number of them, clearly because the fact that we need to see whether it is a strategic fit and the like. So from that perspective, there are things that we certainly look at, but doesn't necessarily mean that we need to pursue every opportunity that comes our way. So as long as the proposition is compelling and it is something which fits into our overall strategy, we would look at it seriously. But nothing like that at this stage for Vita Biotech.
But strategically, this does fit into your thought process in terms of direction, at least?
I might not actually...
It may or may not, move into a transaction, or may not get concluded. But it's an asset that you all would like to look at it?
We would like to look at certain parts of it, if at all, but clearly the full asset is not something which might be interesting because it is actually present across the globe. It's more nutraceuticals and the like, and clearly it has got a very different kind of a flavor, so to speak.
Okay.
So I wouldn't actually say that this is something that is very strategic to us.
Ramesh, you were saying that how, with the evolution, the shift has taken place away from US to other markets. And like Pharma, that's the big acquisition that's going to conclude in December. So from an M&A point of view, are the Europe-UK markets a bigger M&A focus for the company compared to US now? And how much capital are you looking to deploy for M&A? Do we have a number?
Okay, a number of questions in the same breath, so to speak. But clearly, America started out as being, a feast of several kinds, essentially. But the feast sometimes turns out to be a famine. So clearly, one has to look at diversification, and other markets are alluring enough. Europe might not necessarily have the same kind of flavor in terms of realizations, but it's a less volatile market from my perspective. And of course, emerging markets have their own flavor. India is, of course, extremely alluring, and it's a market that we would like to invest a lot in. Other emerging markets, of course, carry risk as well as potential and the like. So from that perspective, we would be looking at various buys, so no market is actually cancelled out, but I think the capital allocation policy itself is very well framed from our perspective. In terms of horsepower that you spoke about, I would say that our overall limits to borrowings would be twice that of our EBITDA. That would potentially make it about $1.5 billion to $2 billion, so to speak, over time. Our sweet spot would potentially be about $250 to $300 million. But we've also clearly drawn out thresholds in terms of where we would be investing and the like. It would be potentially in India. It would also be specialty in various parts of the globe. And clearly, Pharma is a reflection of what we have just done.
What about INR depreciation? How is it impacting business for you and numbers?
INR depreciation always helps exporters, as you would appreciate, because the realizations go up. From that perspective, it certainly adds to our EBITDA margins and the like, and we are happy about it. Though, of course, it has got its own connotations in terms of pricing and, of course, in terms of input costs, if you reflect on that.
All right. So if you're talking about margins, I think for the last quarter, the adjusted margins were closer to 30% odd. But you have been maintaining that mid-20s is the number you're looking at. So what should be the margin guidance from here on, given that, business is doing pretty okay, going by what you're saying, and also you have this tailwind now with regard to the rupee depreciation. Does it help? Give us a guidance.
Clearly, we are being very cautious when we actually guide for this. And for example, tolvaptan, so we expected the loss of exclusivity to click in on 13th of November, but though there have been a couple of approvals, they have not launched, so the party is still on insofar as this product is concerned. Clearly, we look at, maintenance of this, of the margin, so to speak, but I think the truth is, when you actually launch a generic product, it lasts for some time, and after that, it kind of the price erosion clicks in, and it's a bit like running on the treadmill. It has to erode at some point of time, and from that perspective, we believe that for the full year, about 26% would be very appropriate for our guidance. But clearly, we are confident about stepping up on the margins over time for sure. Next year, for example, we're guiding for close to about 24-25%, so to speak, because we do expect certain molecules to decline from a competition perspective, more players coming in. So shares let to be.
Got it. Just a quick final word on the two plants, Goa and Nagpur. There were some observations. How serious are they? And by when do you expect things to get all clear?
As with everything, we play a lot of reliance on compliance and the like, and we are certainly we are working with the authorities to make sure that it is remedied. It is where it is, but we are confident of actually getting this remedied as early as possible.
We have so many more questions, so we hope you join us soon again. But thank you, Ramesh, once again for being a part of CNBC TV18's journey and coming here down to our studio to celebrate this special day with us.
Always a pleasure. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you. By the way, markets continue to slip and now below 26,100. So it gives us the perfect segue to invite Rohit Srivastava, founder of India Charts and Strike Money, on the show. Rohit, thank you very much for joining in. This is Reema here. Wish you would have joined us in the studio today. But how are the charts looking, and what is your near-term, medium-term view on the markets now?
Yeah, I wish the entire CNBC team on this special day, 26 years is a lot, and congratulations to all of you for having made it through this, and I'm sure there'll be many years to come. So wonderful job by all of you. And coming to the market, my sense is that we are still consolidating inside this congestion. 26,300 on the upside, 25,800 on the downside. I don't think there's a lot of downside beyond that. I do think that the markets will consolidate and eventually break out on the upside. It may be taking time, but the eventual direction is going to be higher, is what I think as far as the Nifty is concerned. On the Bank Nifty, around 59,000, I think, is the critical support. It's managed to hold on to that 20-day average for quite a long time. And I think it should probably continue to do so. So, in fact, Bank Nifty is probably the outperformer of the lot. Banking stocks have done better than most other sectors and should continue to outperform going ahead as well.
Okay. All right. Hi, Rohit. Good morning. Good to see you in. Give us a couple of levels. You believe the Nifty is headed higher? Where is it headed? And who leads us up? As you said, the Nifty Bank is looking good. Almost went to that 60,000 odd mark, slipping a little bit as we speak. But levels on both these two?
So I think we go towards 26,800, eventually maybe cross 27,000 next year, but 26,800 is going to be the next level we'll be watching for once we complete this consolidation and break out above 26,370. On the Bank Nifty, initially probably 61,800 and eventually maybe around 64,000 is where it should go to. So both of them should continue to make new highs into the year end or apart from the near-term setbacks that we are seeing, mostly because of, I think, the small cap index, which is still weakening today.
Any stocks, Rohit? Any trading ideas for the medium term?
So I think I think the interest rate sensitive sectors, they come out on top. They are also been the best performers over the last month, which includes auto, banking, but I would also include metals, which is not up there yet. But I think commodities as a segment will do well given the rate cycle, given the potential direction of the dollar. And therefore, that would be, the third sector to really focus on. So banking, autos, metals, I think are the easy ones to latch onto.
Any word on gold, since you're talking about metals or any other metal, base metal, precious metal, if you like anything from there? And also quick word on the Indian rupee if you've tracked the charts.
So on the base metals, I think they're going to do better than the precious metals at least for the initial period of this year, and if it comes to equities, I think 2026 will be a year where equities outperforms gold. I know 2026, 2025, we've seen gold outperform equity. But if I look at the monthly chart of gold, the RSI is almost 91, 92, and that's extremely overbought. So I think it's a little risky to be in gold right now from a 6-month perspective. But I don't think that's the end of the gold bull market long term. Over 3 to 5 years, it might still eventually make new highs. But right now, I think it's a good time to shift that asset allocation away from gold towards equities. That will probably do better. However, the base metals, as you mentioned, are actually picking up, because when we go and look at prices of copper, aluminium, zinc, all of them have actually moved up over the last 2-3 weeks, gaining meaningfully. And I think the direct impact comes on commodity stocks. We are not seeing that so much in the domestic market. But if you look at the Dow Jones Industrial and Metals Index, it's actually made a new high, and it started to trend higher. So I think we will see that in Indian metal stocks as well. Actually, Indian metal stocks did pretty well last year, making new highs. So I think that is probably the reason they are not exactly tracking that move, but they will continue to do well. So I think base metals over precious metals is what I'm saying, and equities over gold is also what I'm saying. But when it comes to the currency, which also helps the commodity trade, because in India, when the currency weakens, commodity prices also inch up. I think the worst for the rupee is probably over here at 91, 92 range. I don't think we will go significantly above 91 level. And we should probably see strength in the rupee going forward.
Right. Rohit, thank you very much for joining in. In fact, Biocon is on our radar. This is on the back of the company looking to make Biocon Biologics as a wholly owned subsidiary. Ekta spoke to Kiran Mazumdar-Shaw on the deal. Listen in.
Two things that basically, I guess, swung it in this direction. The first, of course, was a holding company discount. And the second was the perceived debt overhang, which we basically acquired because of the acquisition debt. When we acquired the commercial interests of Viatris at Biocon Biologics, it was done with the aim of creating a large global enterprise, a very uniquely positioned integrated biosimilars company, which we thought would be rewarded, because I think that was the first time it was being attempted in India. And it was the biggest biopharma acquisition ever done, 3 billion plus. And we were a bit taken aback. We were very disappointed that we were actually penalized for doing that acquisition. And we saw Biocon's stock take a beating. The reasons ascribed were that they were very uncomfortable about the acquisition debt. And coupled with the as you say, the holding company discount, we saw a huge devaluation of the Biocon stock. And that, by extension, lowered the intrinsic value of Biocon Biologics. So the whole, approach or the strategy of saying, let's take Biocon Biologics public because of this acquisition, which anyway has made us into amongst the top 5 biosimilars leaders globally, was not being met in terms of our objectives, our stated objectives. And we felt it was intrinsically undervalued. Now, with that in mind, we said, let's look at what's the best value accretive step we can take. And that's when we mandated Morgan Stanley to evaluate all the options for value unlocking.
Okay. Well, interestingly, now you'll have Serum hold around 3 to 4% stake in the company, in Biocon. You have Viatris, which will hold around 6 to 7% stake as well. Just give us a sense in terms of what the relationship with such large shareholders would be, or such strategic shareholders would be with Biocon.
I mean, basically, when we look at all the strategic investors, like you mentioned Serum and Viatris, I think it's really about how long they want to hold that shareholding in Biocon. But more importantly, I think the business that we are running, which is a biosimilars business, has a force of its own. And I don't think any of the strategic investors really would make a big difference to our path ahead. So whilst I welcome their presence in the Biocon shareholding, I don't know whether it would really influence the way we are building the biosimilars business. I think this is an opportunity for us to really now create a large biopharma enterprise which combines both biosimilars and specialty generics, especially when it comes to what I describe as diabesity, because we now will be the only company in the market globally to have a portfolio of interchangeable biosimilar insulin analogs complemented with a growing portfolio of GLP-1s, and that makes us very uniquely placed.
Absolutely. I'm going to get to the diabesity opportunity in just a bit. But one of the speculations, might I say, which might emerge is that Serum holds stake. We have Mylan, which holds stake in the company as well. And there's always been speculation about Biocon's succession plan. So would that be an assumption that maybe the Serums of the world could possibly increase their stake, would probably approach you for maybe even buying out Biocon?
I don't even think that's really on the table, because I think, people talk about succession planning, and I really don't think people should worry about succession planning. I think we have an excellent management team. I think Biocon is professionally run. We have an excellent, board. Board succession has been very well managed, and I really don't think, we need to really think about any of the companies that you mentioned as having to be considered in a succession plan. So at this point in time, I think we are very well set up to drive the business in a very professional way, in a leadership manner.
Years of CNBC-TV18.
Fly Emirates, fly better.
सपना था कि खुद का ट्रांसपोर्ट बिजनेस हो, और फंडिंग मिलना इतना आसान नहीं था।
मशीनें तो खरीद ली थी, पर बड़ा ऑर्डर लेने के लिए पूंजी की जरूरत थी।
घर से ही केक बनाने का काम शुरू किया था मैंने।
किसी के यहाँ टेबल कुर्सी बनाते बनाते मुझे ये हौसला मिला कि मुझे खुद का काम शुरू करना चाहिए।
फिर इनका साथ मिला और नए रास्ते खुल गए।
फिर इनका साथ मिला और मेरा बिजनेस इतना बड़ा हो गया।
फिर इनका साथ मिला और फैक्ट्री यहाँ तक पहुँच गई।
फिर इनका साथ मिला और मैं इस मुकाम पर पहुँच गया।
सुन रहे हैं ना, ये सब एक ही नाम की बात कर रहे हैं, और वो नाम है पीएनबी। आपका सपना सिर्फ आपका नहीं होता है, वो पूरे देश की तरक्की का हिस्सा होता है। इसीलिए पीएनबी लेकर आया है एमएसएमई लोन स्कीम्स, जो छोटे छोटे बिजनेसेस को आगे बढ़ाने के लिए बनाई गई है। इजी डॉक्यूमेंटेशन और अट्रैक्टिव रेट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट पे लोन आपको देता है पीएनबी, वो भी बिना किसी झंझट से। पीएनबी का भरोसा, अब हर व्यापार होगा बड़ा।
पैसा लगाना है तो सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम पे लगाओ। डूबेगा नहीं, जलेगा भी नहीं, कोई खा नहीं जाएगा, धोखा नहीं देगा, ऊपर नीचे भी नहीं होगा, सेफ रहेगा, सिक्योर्ड, मिनिमम 30 साल का रिटर्न देगा। अब इससे बेटर इन्वेस्टमेंट है तो बताओ। सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम, रहो बेफिक्र।
Hi, I'm Gaurav Mehta and I'm the CEO.
Nope, you're a founder.
No. I'm not a founder. I've given you the details.
Well, then you forgot to add founder.
Who's my co-founder, by the way?
You don't have one yet. Your wealth is your first startup. Don't just manage it, scale it with the right co-founder. Ionic Wealth, co-founder in your journey of wealth creation.
आपका और हमारा बहुत ही लंबा और करीबी रिश्ता है। हम उस चटकारे में हैं जो आप अपने दोस्तों के साथ लेते हैं। उस दराज में है जिसमें छिपा है माँ के राजमा चावल का राज। कभी आपके हाथ में अच्छाई की चमक बनकर आपका दिल जीतते रहे। तो अगली बार आपको कोई चीज पसंद आ जाए तो उसे पलट के देखिएगा, जरूर हमारा नाम दिख जाएगा।
We are everyone, but we are not just anyone. We choose progress over pressure. We say no to shortcuts and yes to the strength of discipline. To the pride of planning. To the thrill of watching our future take shape little by little. We are citizens and you can be one too. Sip karo, citizen bano. Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Read all scheme-related documents carefully.
26 years of CNBC-TV18.
Welcome back. Markets a little bit lower, but it's a good time to welcome our next guest, Pirojsha Godrej, Executive Vice Chairman, Godrej Industries, who joins in. Hi, Pirojsha. Good morning. Thanks a lot for joining in to celebrate our 26th birthday. Appreciate it.
Good morning, Nigel. Great to be with you, and congratulations to you and all your colleagues on this milestone.
All right, Pirojsha, we've got a few questions for you, but just to run through a few discussion points, that we're going to be focusing on properties, we're going to be focusing on which stage of the cycle we are at, the project pipeline, project funding as well. We'll also discuss the consumer business, demand outlook, commentary with regard to competition, and scaling up the acquisitions. Pirojsha, let's start with the real estate piece first. How's demand on ground? Are you seeing enough traction? The stocks, all real estate stocks have come off quite a large extent from the top. But on ground, how is demand? Is it still strong enough? And also, if you could give us a sense in terms of your analysis, which part of the cycle are we in for the real estate sector?
Yeah, I think, demand in the sector has actually been very robust for the last few years. We've seen at Godrej Properties, for example, a compounded growth rate over these 3 years of over 50%. And we continue to see good traction in the current year. Even last quarter, our booking value growth was in excess of 60%. And I think there's a very strong outlook likely for the second half of the financial year as well. From where we are in the cycle perspective, Nigel, it's hard to be very certain, but my sense is that a typical real estate cycle in India has usually lasted between 7 and 9 years each end of the cycle. And I think this cycle upswing started around early 2021. So we probably are at the mid stage of the cycle, and I expect positive momentum to continue until at least 2028 or 2029.
Pirojsha, hi, this is Rima here. Nigel, CNBC is carrying a legacy of 26 years. But here is the Godrej Group carrying a legacy of more than 125 years.
Wow.
Built on trust, innovation, and just staying relevant. So it's apt that on a day like today, Pirojsha, you are joining us. So thank you very much for being here with us. So just continuing with, real estate and the momentum that we're seeing, up until now, growth for you was driven by, Mumbai, Bangalore, the NCR region. But now you're also expanding outside into newer cities, like you've got land parcels in Kolkata, Ahmedabad, Indore. So as you look ahead, say 5 years down the line, what would your revenues look like from the current 5,000 crore rupees? And what will be the contribution of newer markets? Can you give us a big picture and some guidance long term?
Thanks for your kind words, firstly, Rima. Look, I think the company is all set to scale very rapidly in the years ahead. If you look at how the accounting in the industry works, you're accounting for projects only for most developers, are accounting for projects only once they are completed. So we have seen, as I mentioned, a 50% plus CAGR in our booking value, which will translate into our accounting revenue over these next few years. So while you rightly said our accounting revenue is only about 5,000 crore last year, our booking value last year is about 30,000 crore. So you should expect Godrej Properties reported revenues over the next few years to get to those kind of levels. And from this high base, we still believe there is a huge opportunity to continue to compound at, say, 20% a year. Because if you look at it, while Godrej Properties was the largest developer in the country by sales value over the last couple of years, we estimate our market share at only about 4.5% or so. So we think there is a huge opportunity to both participate in market-led growth, but also to continue to gain market share. We've almost doubled our market share in the industry over the last 4 or 5 years, and the goal will be to continue to gain market share. So I certainly think the opportunity before the company is a very large one, and we can certainly hope to see a very significant increase in numbers. And a lot of that has already been locked in through operations that will reflect in the P&L as these projects are completed.
All right, Pirojsha, let's turn our attention into the consumption space. Since you're talking about market share, what about in the consumer space? What kind of market share do you look at? How's the competitive intensity as well out there? Help us out with some guidance on that front.
Well, it's interesting. I think there is something to the kind of K-shaped recovery that a lot of people have talked about post the pandemic in India. We've certainly seen higher income asset classes like real estate performing very well. There has, as you know, been a bit of pressure on demand in the FMCG space, but I think we're quite excited about the steps the company has put in place and about the overall FMCG opportunity long term, which continues to remain robust. So I think in the short term, we're focused on establishing category leadership in all of the markets that we're present in consumers. So for example, we're already today the leading player in household insecticides, in air care, in hair colors. We have a strong number 2 position in soaps. So the goal there will be, again, to, in all our existing categories, establish leadership positions. We also want to ensure that we're increasing our total addressable market on a consistent basis. Sudhir, the CEO, has worked on a plan to look at what we expect FMCG in India to look like in 2040, basis how the categories have grown in other developing countries, and have kind of backcasted from there to see what are the categories that we as a business should be in. And have taken several strategic steps to make sure we are addressing those. So, for example, we expect perfumes and deodorants to be one of the largest segments within FMCG in 2040, which it isn't today. We've tried to address that by establishing a strong position through acquiring Raymond's FMCG business, which has a large perfumes and deodorant play. Similarly, we expect pet food to be a huge opportunity. Pet care, if you look at globally, is a huge market. Somewhere like China now, it's been quite crazy to see the growth in the number of pets. You've had statistics cited that there are now more pets in China than children under a certain age.
Yes.
I think this is a huge opportunity here. We've entered organically through a brand called Ninja, which is in its very early days, but something we're extremely excited about. Similarly, if you look at home care, we've entered through Fab, the liquid care market, and that's been one of the fastest growing products in any FMCG category. So I think this combination of focusing on the core, trying to establish leadership positions in all our existing categories, while making sure we're laying down the bets for the future categories, is how we're approaching the business.
Pirojsha, are you still on the prowl? That male grooming business is what you bought. Any more inorganic growth should we be looking forward to?
Well, I think we have a clear preference for organic growth. I think that's where we think, most value can get created. But where we see exciting opportunities, we're certainly on the prowl, as you put it. Mustak, for example, we thought it was a great business, relatively small in scale, but already very profitable. I think the team there has done a fantastic job using influencer marketing and things like that to ensure the brand has scaled quite rapidly entirely online. We hope to now take it offline as well as learn some of their tricks on their online marketing capability.
Pirojsha, it's always a pleasure having you on the show. Thanks a lot for joining in, celebrating this big day with CNBC-TV18, and thanks for supporting us over the last few years, and looking forward to your support over the next few. Have a great day ahead, and we catch up soon.
Great to be with you. All the best.
Time to slip into a short break. Lata is waiting for us on the other side. She's got the management of PNB. Don't go anywhere.
26 years of CNBC-TV18.
You want to talk business? Meet me in the On-Board Lounge.
होम EMI 50,000।
तो जा रही है। आपकी क्या तैयारी है?
पूरे सीलिंग का 20,000।
आउटगोइंग है जा रही। आपकी क्या तैयारी?
मौसा जी, मेरी शादी का गिफ्ट।
मनी की आउटगोइंग रहेगी जारी, इसीलिए कर लो तैयारी। SIP के साथ इन्वेस्ट करो और जरूरत पड़ने पर SWP के साथ सिस्टमैटिकली विड्रॉ करो। म्यूचुअल फंड निवेश बाजार जोखिमों के अधीन है। योजना से जुड़े सभी दस्तावेजों को ध्यान से पढ़ें।
अब बस बेटी की शादी हो जाए, सारी जिम्मेदारियां खत्म। इसलिए मैंने ली है VIPshadi.com की मेंबरशिप। इनके टॉप रेटेड कंसल्टेंट्स ढूंढते हैं सबसे अच्छी प्रोफाइल। रजिस्टर नाउ।
शुक्ला जी। हाँ जी बंद है।
सुनो
शुक्ला जी। अरे कल आना, आज बैंक बंद है। बैंक? जब से ये दुकान खोली है मैंने, तब से बैंक का ही तो काम कर रहा हूँ। अरे डिपॉजिट करो तो फॉर्म भरो, विड्रॉल करो तो फॉर्म भरो, और ऊपर से उसके लिए एक्स्ट्रा चार्जेस भी दो। QR, कार्ड पेमेंट, बैंक ट्रांसफर, सबका हिसाब किताब तो मुझे को रखना पड़ता है ना। तो मैं तो बन गया ना चपरासी।
नॉट बैंकिंग विद AU।
AU करंट अकाउंट के साथ मिलता है फ्री UPI QR ओवरड्राफ्ट फैसिलिटी और एक ही ऐप से बैंक के सारे काम।
मतलब फटाक से AU।
हाँ जी शुक्ला जी, सोच बदलो और बैंक भी।
आराम से आराम से। हाँ। सामान देना भैया।
अब आगे क्या करना है? वो पिट्टू की पर्ची में देखो ना, कहाँ गई पर्ची?
नमस्ते
जी।
हाँ? मुझे पता है वो पर्ची में क्या लिखा होता है। आप चलिए मेरे साथ। व्हील चेयर, ये आपका और ये हाँ। आपका। पर्ची में शॉपिंग की बात तो जरूर लिखी होती है। थोड़ी पेट पूजा की बात कोई पर्ची में ना लिखे, ऐसा हो सकता है? टिफिन
थैंक यू।
अरे पर्ची मिल गई।
पर्ची में तो ये सब लिखा ही नहीं था।
हम है ना आपकी पर्ची।
सिर्फ वर्ल्ड क्लास एयरपोर्ट्स नहीं चलाते हैं, आपके सफर में हम सफर बन जाते हैं। अदानी, हम करके दिखाते हैं।
सोच रहा हूँ टर्म लाइफ इंश्योरेंस ले लूं, ताकि मेरे बाद फैमिली को पैसों की कमी ना हो। तू भी ले ले।
अबे जल्दी क्या है, बाद में देख लेंगे।
आराम से आराम से आराम से। अपने कुणाल को हार्ट अटैक आ गया यार।
पॉलिसी बाजार पर 0 GST के साथ अब 1 करोड़ का टर्म लाइफ इंश्योरेंस सिर्फ 400 रुपए महीने से शुरू।
2 hours of staring at clouds.
2 hours of staring, yes. But binge watching your favorites on this window?
Bro. I love this window.
That's Air India now.
"26 years of CNBC-TV18.
"26 years of CNBC-TV18, and I have been in the company for 24 of these years. Thank you, viewers, for watching us, trusting us, and questioning us if we don't question our guests enough. We have brought you and will be bringing you the best and the brightest of India Inc. today, as we have done all these years. And joining me now is the CEO and Managing Director of the second largest PSU bank, Ashok Chandra of PNB. Mr. Chandra, good morning, and thank you very much indeed for joining us on a very special day. Well, let me let you in on a secret. Our birthday is actually December 6th, and we wanted to celebrate it on Friday. But we anyway had the governor for the better part of the day. We had the SBI chairman. So we decided to celebrate our actual party day with you. And therefore, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I think on my personal behalf and on behalf of the entire PNB Parivar, we wish the CNBC TV18 team a very good luck and all our good wishes. And we are very confident that the momentum which you have brought it in the system and your insights on the finance, banking, and the Indian economy, global economy will continue to enrich the people going forward also.
Thank you
All my
so
good
much.
wishes.
Thank you so much, sir, for that generous praise and for the responsibility. Let us get to brass tacks. As soon as the governor announced the rate cut, we saw that home loan cut being announced by Punjab National Bank. But clearly, deposits you all have not cut. You think there is no space for your cost of funds to go down?
See, we have already done two exercises in two phases in the deposit front. One, we had done one exercise in the saving deposit, and we expect that with this 25 basis point cut, is not going to influence the rate cut in the saving deposit. That is the first thing.
Okay.
Saving in the term deposit front also, we have done the rate cut in the fixed deposit, whereas we had that special deposit scheme. We have brought it down, and with this 25 basis point cut, I think we are going to absorb it in our system. And going forward, we will see in the Q4 how it pans about, and then we will take any decision. As of now, in this particular quarter, we are not going to cut any deposit rate now.
So what happens to your margins? In Q2, your margins dipped by 10 basis points, and you said this is about the worst. Will you experience more margin push now, this Q3 and Q4?
See, we had indicated that if the status quo is there, I think I had already given the clue also that around 5 to 7 basis point improvement will happen in the Q3. Now, we all know that the 100 basis point CRR cut which has happened, and the full benefit which we are supposed to get, we have got that. So almost 15,000 crore PNB has got, and that amount has been released. So we expect that whatever the benefits that is going to accrue with this release, I think that is going to offset this 25 basis point cut which has happened in the system. We have calculated what is the impact that is going to happen on our NII. I think around 100 crore is going to impact in our NII in this particular quarter. And going forward in every quarter with the impact on every quarter, the way the credit growth is happening, I think definitely I am very confident that the guidance which we have given, we will be able to hold on to that level.
Okay. You did 10.5%. Now with the rate cut, will your advances growth be even better?
Yeah, we are expecting in this particular quarter, I think 11 to 12% growth should happen.
Okay.
QOQ, if you see the last quarter also, we had a good growth, especially in the corporate segment. The last quarter also, QOQ, if you see, it was more than 3%. And in this quarter also, I think the QOQ growth will be around somewhere 4%. And 11 to 12%, definitely I'm expecting the credit growth will happen.
Which verticals are demanding maximum credit?
The retail, definitely there is a very good push is happening, especially the vehicle loan front, 30 to 35% YOY growth is there now. Housing is also doing very well. So the momentum which was there in that Q2, I think there is some improvement further it has happened in the Q3. MSME, we had grown at 18.6% in the Q2, and that trend is continuing in this quarter also. Corporate loan book, I think if you see our Q2, we had shown a growth of 7.5% in the Q2.
Yeah.
There has been some good improvement happening in this Q3, and I'm expecting that we'll be nearing touching to that double-digit mark, and that will be the real good improvement happening in the system.
Oh, that is good news. The State Bank of India chairman was hoping that there will be capex growth. He was saying there's corporate demand, but not yet capex demand. What is your sense? Do you think that private capex demand is picking up at all?
I have started seeing that trend happening somewhere from the latter part of October onwards. And that is the reason I have indicated this figure. And that is happening in the various segments in the corporate loan book, whether you talk about the renewable energy or the infra, power in general. Then there are other InvITs are there, retail InvITs, data center. I think various segments, the traction has started happening in the corporate loan book. And that is a very good sign for the economy as a whole.
Okay, sir, before I let you go, any word on mergers or consolidation? We heard some buzz. Will PNB become bigger because of some inorganic acquisitions of banks, consolidation?
I think we need to wait and see how this entire thing happens. And see, today PNB is one of the strongest banks in the country now. And if you see our balance sheet size, the qualitative improvement that has happened in the different ratios, I think we are well poised to take any such decision happens in the system. I think we are capable of handling anything in the country.
Okay. Just a word, when you spoke about margins, this quarter also margins will go down. You were about 2.9%. Will you see a further dip in margins?
No, our domestic margin was 2.72% in the Q2. And I'm expecting that I think we will be holding to that level.
Okay.
Around 2.7 to 2.75, definitely this level will be there in the domestic NIMs.
Okay, okay. Have to leave it, sir. We have a string of big and best and the brightest from India joining us. And thank you very much for being part of our celebration today.
Thank you very much, and my pleasure to be with you. Thank you.
Okay, well, that's the word coming in from the second largest PSU bank. He says he's capable of handling any consolidation, so not ruling out that maybe something will come. Let's take a break on that note. Up next after the break will be Chartbusters.